Hey y'all, and welcome to episode 26 of the Unseen Strands podcast, a crochet and fiber arts related podcast where I, your host Mo, am visually impaired and will be sharing with you strands of the rest of my life. I come to you today from central Iowa, where I live with my 4 boys, my husband, our 2 cats, and our dog. And we'll probably be a little scattered in the editing process today. I have a few things to share with you that aren't here yet, which I know are coming in the mail, including my Fiber of the Month Club box. That I'll probably do its own little video for later today. And I also need to edit in the Seasons of Giving Cal winners. And what else? We need to talk about the new year, New Ewe Cal, that is just starting. And I'm waiting for Sona to decide that she needs to come in, and I'm spinning currently. So yeah, just lots of little interruptions today, but I wanted to record for you. Uh-oh. What's going on? Why am I catching on something? I wanted to record for you before things got super out of hand. So yeah, guys, so me and Ella are starting our New Year New Ewe Along, and she mentioned it on her podcast, or I guess she did a video for it yesterday, over the weekend. Yeah, that would have been yesterday. And I went, or I guess maybe it was the night before? I don't remember. But I went from hovering around 86 to 84 subscribers for the last couple of months to currently, I just looked, and I am sitting at 132 subscribers. So we kind of missed the chance to do a 100 subscriber giveaway. So why not? Let's try and do 150. So we have, what, 20 more to go? And then I'll put out some kind of video and we'll do something for 150 subscribers. But yeah, other than that, do you guys just want to move on to whips? Now, this year I'm going to try to do a weekly Whip Wednesday video, and I already did the first one, so I'm not going to go into a whole lot of detail with my whips because I'll probably just flash them for you, and then you'll get more of the detailed information about it when they become the finished object. But yeah, I am working on my spinning, which I don't think I'm going to be able to lift it quite high enough. That is my ply of Camel and Yoctober. So that one I need to finish because I got, and I'll have, oh, that was the other thing. I have my unboxing of the fiber that I got for my New Year goal of spinning and making a sweater out of what I have spun. So yeah, I have that I'm working on, and this is the fiber still on the spools. So we're working on that because I want to get to my sweater spinning, of course, which... they're both open? I thought only one was open. Well, one's not twisted. Yeah, this is the one I've opened before. I thought they were both twisted shut, but apparently they're not. That's my new sweater fiber. And yeah, so that's what we have to work on for my year goal. And so I have 2 of these. I assume they're 500 gram skeins, and that's a merino alpaca blend. Okay guys, I'm back. We let Sona in, and we'll get out another whip for you in my coffee beans bag, which is a Silver Shed USA bag that I got from Miss Silver's Dreamland podcast for, I think it was in her Knit to Zero KL, or was it the year before that in her other KL? I can't ever remember. But I am working on my pinata socks for the, well, it's mainly for Crochet Luna's year of festive or themed. So every month is going to have a theme, And so this was New Beginning. So I'm doing Piñata because parties are kind of a new beginning. And then yesterday I started matching it with my Mermaids Don't Run track. Leftovers from that pair of socks. So I have that going in progress currently. And like I said, you can see more about what I'm doing on the weekly with Wednesdays. I just kind of want to get through these fast so they're not too awful long for you guys. But the Piñata yarn is from Stranded Dye Works, and the Mermaids Don't Run track is from Once Upon a Corgi. And you did see that there was a crochet hook in the bag. It is crocheted and not knitted. Then, let's see, for my other crochet, I haven't worked on this very long and I need to get back to it. But then I decided I needed to actually look at the pattern again to see how many repeats I needed. The other crochet project I have is, this says it's a miso cozy, which is miso is a type of soup, so it's a soup bowl cozy basically. And this is just leftover yarn that I've had for years that I used for making dryer balls. So I need to do that again at some point. Uh-oh. Oh, that's just that. Okay, I thought the stitch marker had fallen off, but the whole thing had fallen out of my hand. But that is in my Autism Awareness puzzle piece bag that I got from the Pen Hooks and Needles podcast. And again, a Silver Shed USA bag. And then I have my knitting whip, which is in this yarn. Now, I made a cowl to go with my coat. And actually, I need to still weave in on the end on this. But I made a cowl to go with my coat, and then I got a new coat. And it's like the deep maroon red color, so this won't exactly go. So I had this that I had gotten from the Hobby Lobby clearance back over early summer last year. And I think this will go a lot better, and it's got, you know, nice sparklies. So I'm working on this knitted project, and I'm actually bouncing in between back and forth because I need a cable needle basically. So I'm using both sets of my, what was these, size 8 I think, on my Caspian, which is Knit Picks needles, and then this is my Knitter's Pride acrylic beginner's needle, and it's on the Knit Picks cable. So yeah, Knit Picks, Knitter's Pride, totally interchangeable, guys. So yeah, that is another, that's my knitting whip, and the cables are kind of fiddly because it's like the entire row is cabled. So I've been trying to like displace that and then replace it, and apparently I'm doing that too tight on the row before because it's been kind of a pain in the butt to switch over. So I need to work on that probably most of all, so that it's not going to take me 10 years to knit that up. And then the thing that I haven't really started yet, oh, I put my fiber on top of it, is my other big Christmas present, which I didn't share with you guys. This was from my kids, my other haul of my stranded yarn. I have the Naive watercolor and the Ocean Rainbow, and I believe it was 3 balls of Naive watercolor and 4 balls of the Ocean Rainbow, but I've already caked up a lot of this, and what I've put on this is just one of those rainbow loom bands. I don't know if they're going to hold quite because they're getting kind of tight, but I have a whole package of those that I got to put around washcloths, so it's super handy, and was super cheap to get for little rubber bands that look nice. And so yeah, I have, again, 7 balls total. There's 1 by the computer because I was kind of trying to play around with patterns, but if you know a good like striped pullover pattern, that's kind of what I was looking for. I really would rather crochet this. I have 7 skeins, so 700 grams, and I think that was, it was over 1,000 grams, and you know, I can do something a little lacier. I was just thinking of striping with these two, and so this one would be the main color since I have a little more, but I figured the difference would be I do the ribbings or whatever with this. And I'm even not opposed to doing like a stripe and then doing a knitted rib. I think that would be kind of fun to do on the ends, because I'm not so confident in my casting on the rib abilities and still having it super stretchy or whatever, but I think I could finish something off with the knitted rib. So I have that, and it's in my No Catchy Name bag. A little out of theme, but you know, sometimes we use the bags that fit well. Actually, my spinning project was in my Paradise Fibers back to school backpack, but now it's kind of grown. Well, I guess I could still put the Lazy Kate in there, but I'm probably not going to put that back away again. I think that's all the current whips in their current status. Then I have my finished objects, and I'm not going to remember which hook I used with this, but it should be in the project page. And if not, it was the recommended. Like I said, I keep forgetting to take off my stitch marker. This was one of the little gifts that came with my advent calendar from Pineapple Yarns. If you didn't watch Vlogmas this year, I called it my Xmas videos, but I did the Pineapple Yarns advent calendar. Actually, I should have brought it over here. I did take a video of unwrapping the day 25 because I kind of stalled out on recording after day 25 because, yeah, when your kids are all sick and everyone in the house except for you gets deathly ill the week before Christmas, things just kind of backfire on everything you're trying to get done. So instead of, I was going to go ahead and do Vlogmas all the way through Epiphany, but this year that didn't happen. I'm thinking next year I might just do Vlogmas from Christmas or Christmas Eve through Epiphany, because to me that's the holiday season and not quite all the stuff before, even though I do holiday things before that. That's kind of my idea of the holiday time, is that period in between those two dates. But yeah, this was my stitch marker. It's just a little, I can't remember if this is sea glass or just a shell, polished shell on a lobster clasp. That just needs to go in my pile of stitch markers, and I need to still weave in my end. But this was my Palm Valley cowl. Now, it's supposed to be only half this big, but I needed 50 grams of yarn used up. I don't remember, I don't think I did weigh this in the end, so I designed it so it can be doubled over. So basically, instead of doing the final repeat of the pattern, I think I just went ahead and started reversing it so it would line up. And I didn't do the edging on it because I decided I didn't need it, but I designed it so that I could edge it together, but then I didn't do that. But yeah, I have my Palm Valley cowl, and this was Angora fiber, so this one is very nice. It's an 80% Angora and 20% of, I want to say Cormo sheep. It was a sheep, and I believe it started with the C or K. It started with the C sound. But that was yarn that I had gotten back at the Shepherd's Harvest Festival up in Minnesota over at Mother's Day weekend. So that was one of my Minnesota yarns. And then the other yarn in this, the pinkish purplish, and most lights it looks pink, but then you get in certain lights and it does look purple, like a nice lavender or mauve color. That was the yarn that Teresa of Little Trees Treasures had given me. So I like to call this my Minnesota cowl because all the yarn came from Minnesota in one way or another. So that is one of my finished objects, and this is a fingering weight yarn. So I want to say it used a G because I think it was a loose hook, and I think I used my nice hook, but I can't remember exactly. End of the year is too busy. Then my other finished object, and those you all saw on my Finished Off Friday when I was giving you your reminder. So this is the hat that is for Sam, but does fit me because I have tiny head. Me and Miss Debbie with her tiny heads. But yeah, this is Sam's hat. I can even put it on Zane, so if Sam decides that it's too tight on Zane, I can, just brim it up a little because it's a little deep for him. But that is my hand spun yarn. This is the first actual physical wearable item I've made out of hand spun. The only other thing I've made out of my hand spun is a jar cozy, which is stuff that I got from the person who taught me how to spin back at the Iowa Sheep and Wool Festival in 2016, right? I think that was the year that all happened. Or no, 17, because I had babies. Yeah, that is the House Snortlepoof colorway that was from the spinning box, which was the November Fiber of the Month Club box from Paradise Fibers, and it is, I think, a merino silk blend. I think it was a 60-40, but I could be making that up. I can't remember. I don't know if I have that linked in the project page or not. I'm gonna guess I don't, but it is just a Paradise Fibers. They did release it on the actual website as something you can buy in like the 4-ounce hanks, so, or not hanks, in a 4-ounce bag of roving. But yeah, so that is my Snortlepoof hat, and I knitted this with a 2x2 rib and then just kind of decreased it till it closed. I didn't do anything super fancy. I knitted that on, I don't know what the needles are. They're ones that I was gifted from my stepmother-in-law back when she gave me a bunch of circulars, because I decided that I couldn't do straight knitting needles very well. So I don't know what size it was. My size 10 wasn't big enough, and the ones that I had gotten that I thought were 11, but I haven't actually looked up what I purchased, they seem to be too big. So these other pair were in between. So even if they are 11, maybe it's like a 10.5 or a 10.75, because those are knitting needle sizes, guys. We go from 10 to 10.5, 10.75, and 11, and then all the other numbers and jump by 2. I don't get it either, because everything else doesn't have numbers that jump like that. But the 10 and the sizes in between, 10 and 11, there's like 3 sizes. It's like, guys, make up your minds. Yeah, that was my knitted hat. Oh, and I have 2 knitted hats, actually. And this is my Sun King hat, which was the hat that I kept ripping out and restarted in a different yarn, and has the nice cable here. I still do need to attach pom-pom. Both of these hats I haven't sewn in my final string. Actually, I haven't been weaving in ends very well at all, because there's the end on that one too. I do better with crocheted weaving in ends, which I totally get now that I do knit, that why people don't weave in their ends, because weaving in ends in knitting is a lot more work than weaving in ends in crocheting. But yeah, I've left my string here so I can attach the pom-pom, or figure out the way that I'm going to, but I haven't yet. But that's my Sun King hat. That's my first, technically my first knitted hat. I kind of worked these both at the same time, but this one was done first, so it's my first knitted hat, and I did start this technical project first. So this is out of a Karen cupcake. I don't remember the colorway other than it had mint in it. So Frosty Mint, maybe? But that was this one. And this is a DK weight yarn, and this is probably somewhere between a worsted and chunky weight yarn. Oh, and this one is a 4mm needle for the ribbing, and then I think it was supposed to be worked on a 7 for this part and the cable, but I worked it on a 6 because I didn't have a 7 at that time. And that is done, and I think we've made it through all the important stuff. Okay guys, let's get back to just our chatter, and yeah, like I said, I'm trying to finish this spin so that I can start my sweater spin, and for some reason it's catching up. I think the main problem here is that I'm getting too much on my bobbin. And it's not wanting to behave now. But yeah, so my crafty goal for the year this year, as much as I would like to do stash downs and all that stuff, I really need, or I would like to do spinning sweater. So I already showed you the yarn, or fiber I guess, that I purchased for that, but in order to spin that, I have to free up my bobbins. I only needed 2 bobbins to do that, but I only had 1 that was actually free. So we got busy, and oh, I guess I could have showed you, that was kind of a half-finished object, is I finished the camel spin, but it's, you know, you saw it in the spin. But yeah, the Yaktober fiber, I think, is going to turn out lovely. I should have somewhere around 8 ounces, maybe closer to 7.5 when I get done. And it'll just kind of depend on where they end up, because I'm pretty sure the camel I spun finer than I spun the October. So that one will probably last longer, so I probably won't run out of that before the October runs out. But yeah, Christmas, guys. How was your Christmas? It was busy here. I mean, they were nice because we did a really good job, I think, this year of spreading it out. So no day in and of itself was overwhelming, which was really nice. But, you know, Christmas kind of went on forever and ever and ever. So what we had done, if you didn't watch my Vlogmas, is that on the solstice, the winter solstice, so December 21st, we had our family Christmas. The main reason behind that was that we needed to do Christmases over the weekend, and the boys needed to have one of their Christmas presents before they could have other of their Christmas presents. So we needed to have Christmas with us first. And so we had done that. We did our special little meal and yeah, did all that fun stuff. And then the next day, which actually turned out we could have done our Christmas here at the household on that Saturday, but we didn't know that because my husband has a family friend. We'll see, I need to be moving this more. That'll teach me to talk. We have a family friend that lives out of state, and he started a new job back in the early fall, and because of that, he didn't have the vacation that he usually does around this time of the year. And so he was only going to be back for, you know, the weekend before Christmas and the Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, and then he had to fly back. And so our day to spend time with him, because, you know, we're not family, so we weren't going to go crash his family Christmas stuff. But our day to spend time with him was when he got in from his flight, since we're the closest to the airport, so we got dibs on him first. And so he came here, but his flight didn't get in till like 7 o'clock at night, and so he didn't get over here till like 8 o'clock at night. But my husband, I guess, originally thought it was 8 in the morning or something. So, yeah. We had set aside an entire day to spend with him, and then it was pretty much that night and later that we actually got to spend with him. But it was okay because the kids were still kind of bouncing back and forth from recovering from their illness. Now, the older kids only were actually like sick for the day, you know, that they got hit with it, but the little guys never, well, Zane seemed like he took forever to just 100% pull out of it, which now they both have kind of little colds, but other than that, they're absolutely fine. And so yeah, that was that Saturday. Then that Sunday, we went to my husband's mom's house, and it turned out that she had unexpected company for that day. Her stepdaughter had showed up with her, I guess it's her 3 kids, but 2 of them have the same dad, 1 has a different dad, and so there's different dynamic, you know, family situations that were going on there. But they had shown up, so I actually don't mind spending time with anybody, any of the family members, but she was just kind of freaking out because, you know, she had her Christmas planned with us, and then it turned into Christmas with more than her house can comfortably hold, in her opinion. So that was kind of fun, I thought. I thought it was fun to get to be in a house full of people that don't normally see each other, because that's kind of more like what I was used to growing up for Christmas. But then Christmas Eve, we went to my husband's dad's house, and we actually moved up our plans from normal, and we went there for lunch, and we had our potato bologna. That's one of the things that I never got to share with you during Vlogmas, because I just kind of petered out on the Christmas Eve videos and uploading. So, yeah, I want to say it's a Swedish tradition, maybe? Or it's kind of this area of Iowa. I don't know. It has something to do with potato bologna being like the traditional like Christmas Eve meal, and I don't know where that comes from or what it is or anything, but it was a new thing to me when I, you know, got involved with this family. But pretty much, I don't know if we had it the first Christmas that I spent with my husband, but most of the Christmases since then, since my stepmother-in-law learned to prepare the potato bologna, we have had potato bologna for our Christmas Eve meal. And yeah, we did our Christmas there, and then we went straight from there over to my side of the family's house, or I guess my side of the family's festivities, which is 200 miles away. So that was where we got to listen to our Christmas carol in the car. And what I had done this year for that is I had actually gone on Google Play, and we do the, I guess, surveys with Google Play, and I was able to have enough money. I actually got like $30 in Google Play money that I've done nothing but answered a few questions from Google on to, you know, just get free money. And so I bought one of the audio book versions of A Christmas Carol, and we got one that's kind of a theatrical adapted version. So we listened to that. Some of the audio was kind of hard to hear, so that would be my only complaint about the actual version that we got, was they had like the ghosts and these kind of different sound effecty, you know, filters, and they were really, really hard to hear in the car. They might have been fine with headphones on, but they were really hard to hear over car speakers and, you know, highway noise. But otherwise, we got to listen to our Christmas carol on the way to my dad's house. And then I showed up at my dad's house, and my little sister is at the table knitting. Now, she did not tell me that she had started knitting, and actually, the thing, I didn't even bring it down here. It's over behind the couch. She had started knitting, and the thing she was knitting on was a scarf that she was giving me that she was not quite done with, but getting very close to done with when I was with her. And according to her, I think she started knitting after finals, maybe, because she is a freshman in college this year. Oh, guys, I'm talking and I'm not moving my stuff. So yeah, she came back from college, I guess, and started knitting. So I don't know if she'll keep up with it, but my dad actually had to drop off. He had to take his animals to go spend some time with my brother because my dad's going back to Chile for a couple months. So he had to displace his pets for those couple of months, and so they're going off to live with my brother. And I guess there was a gift that his girlfriend had for me under the tree, and since we share a name, because I'm named after her, we share a name, so I think people saw the name tag as, you know, my name, and they went, oh, that's for Dad's girlfriend and not for me. So I never got the gift. So when my brother lives in Kansas, so they were going to Kansas City to drop off the pets, and so they had to drive past us again on their way back up. And so they dropped the gift off there. So I had sent off with my dad the cowl that I had forgotten to take with me. And I also sent off the Darn Good Yarn needles and hook that I had gotten from Melody from when I had won her prize back, in the late spring, early summer, I think is when I had gotten that prize. So I had sent those off with him because the crochet hook is a wooden one, and I don't use wooden crochet hooks like ever at all. And the knitting needles, you know, I don't have a needle gauge, so I don't know what they are, and they're straights, and I don't use straights really. And even though they were shorter straights, so I probably could have used them, I thought that they would probably do better with her since that is what she is using, is just straight needles. So I had sent that box off with my dad so that she can keep on, or I can try and encourage this fibering activity with my little sister. And then while we were there, my big sister came over because, of course, oh no, they were already there because we were sneaky, and we noticed that they were leaving my mom's house when we got there because we needed the kids to unwrap their presents from her before we spent the night, because the littles had gotten blankets and we planned on them using those blankets for that night. So we had let them leave so that we could have my mom all to ourselves because we're selfish. And we went over to my mom's house, and the littles and the bigs, well, the kids got to unwrap their presents because we bring them, or I shop for her because my mom's, even though she still works, she's basically shut in, you know? She doesn't get out beyond going to work, basically, because my sister does, like, all the grocery shopping and stuff. And so, yeah. My sister was sitting at the table, and my little sister's like, well, let's teach you how to knit. So all I had for spare knitting needles with me were my little short tips that I had gotten for Christmas. So I had gave my sister, my bigger sister, the biggest set, so it was my size 10, and I'm like, I'm sorry, these needles are so little. But yeah, this is what you'll get to learn on, and I have a short clip here of my big sister learning her, I guess we didn't record the first stitch, but I have the, I guess, second and third stitches she did with knitting. So just a second, guys. Okay, Sarah, go.
Okay, now what?
Do the same thing.
You do the same thing till the end of eternity.
Yeah.
Well, till the end of the row. Till you run out of loops.
It's a cross between
Nope, the other way.
it's a cross between tying knots and eating sushi.
Yep. Okay. Underneath.
I don't do that much bread. Here.
There you go.
See?
Under that one. Put it under. There you go. Okay. And then throw it off.
Sorry, they're short needles.
Oh.
That's your sister. I don't play with her.
I look at the camera in the office and just like,
I don't play with her.
okay, I'm gonna do it again. So go under
Even
here.
the kid is laughing down there.
Evilly!
Underneath.
He's doing his evil laugh.
Around. Nope, nope. There you go.
And then under like
There you go, perfect. And then just push all the gap. Push most of them up. There you go.
Woo! 3 stitches! Isn't that fun? Yeah, I did warn them that they were going to be on YouTube, so nobody stole the camera away from me and said that I wasn't allowed to post it, so you guys got to see my little family dynamic over at my dad's house. And of course that was our Christmas Eve, and then Christmas Day we did the movie with my mom, which let's not go into super big details. Let's just say that some people don't have the Christmas spirit. And that kind of made me sad because the movie isn't for us and isn't for us to, you know, we've gone to plenty of movies that I haven't enjoyed or weren't my cup of tea, but the fact that we're going with the family is what's important to me, and, you know, this is more for my mom than for us. And so, yeah. Zane loved the movie. We did go see the Spider-Verse, or whatever it is, and Zane loved it. He was just so intrigued with Spider-Man on the big screen. Oh, it was so sad. This happens fairly early on in the movie, so I don't think it's a huge spoiler. But the Spider-Man in that universe dies fairly early on. And Zane's like, Spider-Man go night-night? It was so cute and so sad, and oh, he's precious. But yeah, he loved the movie. Leo did, surprisingly good for Leo. He, you know, didn't sit perfectly good through the whole movie, but that isn't really what I expect out of a 2-year-old, you know, and it was a really long movie too. So yeah, that was our Christmas Day, and then we had to head back here. My husband was still off the 26th, wasn't he? Yeah. So we came back here the 26th, and then it's just been kind of trying to get back, I guess, in control of house and situations with the kids home, and, you know, it's just life busy. This year for New Year's, we didn't have our normal New Year's celebration because the people that we had done that with are, I think, in the process of splitting up. So we no longer have that tradition. We did this tradition since before the kids were born, so that was just kind of sad that we don't have that anymore. But we started a new thing, and at least this year it was just my oldest son had a friend over. It's one of his, well, it is his best friend that is from the town we used to live in. And so he got to come over for New Year's, and the kids just had a blast, and it was really nice to have all of that going on. And then they had to go back to school on the 2nd. Yes, you heard me right. The 2nd, guys. I mean, I get 3rd. I'm like, why are they not going back on the 3rd? It's a Thursday, not a Friday. Why are we going back on a Wednesday? I don't get it. But yeah, so they had to go back to school on the 3rd, or on the 2nd, and yeah, so that's kind of been my life as of recently. The babies in the last couple days have really decided to learn their letters, so it's really cute. They still don't talk, probably as much as they should for their age, but they will come to you, and I have the Fridge Phonics letters that we had with Jeremy, so I'm sure I know we don't have the full set still. There's still some that might be in hidden boxes from when we moved, but they will come up to you, bring a letter, and say, H? L? You know, they're just so proud of the letters that they get right, and it's just so precious, because they're just, you know, they're cute. Like, they're getting to that age of toddlership where you can actually start to reason with them and talk to them, and I don't know, Zane still insists on calling me Mucka instead of my name or by mommy, and I'm like, we're gonna go out somewhere and somebody's gonna either think, well, I'm not young or cute enough to be their nanny, but we're gonna go somewhere and they're gonna go, oh, are you their stepmother? Because he's got Leo doing it too now, so not only do I get called Mucka by Zane, but I'm also getting called Mucka by Leo, and I just think, you know, people are gonna get confused and think that I'm a stepmom and not mom. Because what 2-year-old calls their mom by their first name? You know, it's just kind of silly. And let's see, what else is going on? Oh, Jeremy has switched over to the French horn. That was another thing that was kind of more in the Vlogmases versus the podcast. He has paid off $160, I think, dollars of his French horn. We found one for a super reasonable price from somebody that was in the Kansas City area, and it was somebody actually that my brother had bought another instrument from back probably around a year ago, maybe not quite that long ago. This person that he bought it from is a retired band teacher, so when they get the instruments, you know, ready to sell is when he puts them for sale. So he had bought a string instrument for one of my nephews, but we don't have orchestra in the school system here, so it turned out that he had a French horn that, well, he had a couple actually, but he had one for $350, and so that is what Jeremy's now working on, getting paid off. And if you want to know, I mentioned in the Vlogmas, he was running during part of December. He had a sale going on in their Etsy shop, and it was just on the hand-punched items, because those are the ones that, you know, he physically does, so I thought that it was the things that he could physically, you know, work towards paying off his French horn. So we don't still have a sale going on in there, but, you know, if you want to help him out, His shop is Moe's Kids, moeskidz.etsy.com, and they make paper die cuts from, you know, hand punches, and we actually just got a few more new ones. So we went to this store called Stuff. It's a kind of like a consignment shop, except for they buy everything right out from the people, and then if it's been there for so long, it gets discounted, and then if it's there for so much longer, it gets discounted even more. And we went there Saturday, and they had the EK Success punches that Jeremy likes, and so we had gotten, I think we got a feather, which it's kind of a really small feather and it's diagonal, so we won't be able to get a lot out of a sheet of paper, but it's a fun new shape. There was a pineapple. I know that's a popular thing with you guys. There's a pineapple one, a donut, I believe, and what was the other? Oh, and there's emoji smile face or something. So we got a couple new punches, and I'd show you them, but they're on the bookshelf behind me, or behind the couch. So they're not super accessible. And yeah, I still need to get up their new shapes that I mentioned during Vlogmas, and they have the hashtag symbol, they have an emoji poop symbol. I think that was another one they had at the consignment shop, but we already have that one, so we didn't get a second. They also had a Mr. and Mrs., but I thought that's just something I think that would be easier to cut out of the Cricut than to let the kids try and punch out of paper. I'm just like, you don't need a ton of Mr. and Mrs. like paper confetti. It just didn't seem practical to me, so I didn't pick up those ones. Yeah. That's what's going on, I guess, in their Etsy shop. My Etsy shop is still kind of in limbo. I haven't been around to update it because life, you know. And I don't know. The other fun thing is I haven't done it yet, but I have been looking up my information for the Sticks and Strings 2019 retreat, which is February 22nd through the 24th. So I'm planning on going. I, again, haven't reserved my place, but I'm planning on going to that. That's going to be the other hunk of my Christmas cash. So the reason you didn't see a lot of gifts and stuff is because pretty much I got the things from my mother-in-law, which you would have seen in Vlogmas, which was the knitting needles and kind of knitting accessory stuff. And everyone else just pretty much gave us cash for us adults. So I got the fiber with some of that cash. And then I am planning to go to the Sticks and Strings retreat with the other bit of my cash. But hopefully I can find enough cash set aside and get they are doing a project bag this year, which is from the Silver Shed USA. Yes, I am lucky enough that Silver Shed is like in my neck of the woods. So she is at the retreat. She is vending again at the retreat because she vended last year, and that was before I realized that everyone loved her bags and how much I loved her bags. So she'll be at the retreat again this year, and they're doing a special bag for the retreat. So I'm hoping, I think that was $32. So it better be a good size bag because sure, bags aren't super expensive. Maybe it's got the added pockets or something. I don't know. I didn't really look into that too deeply, but I think they had a bag from her, and then they were having a skein of yarn or something dyed from a local dyer. But Bombshell Dye Works will be there again, and that was my first bought indie dyed yarn. Was from her, and then the place I got my alpaca yarn from will be there again this year. So that'll be fun. I'm looking forward to that retreat, and just need to line up my childcare and get my spot reserved and pay my money. But they usually don't sell out, so I don't have issues with that. And yeah, so that is kind of my plans for coming up. Okay, so while I keep procrastinating and forgetting to pause and leave in space, I meant to do this a lot earlier, so I'm sorry if you're hanging in with me and kind of bored now, but the Seasons of Giving winners, I'm going to cut. So for the Seasons of Giving second annual Inspire Along. We got 4 winners, and the first 2 will get basically a surprise package with their pick of 2 skeins of the X Pantone by Karen colors from Michaels. I have in those colors to choose from either Ocean Surf or Spicy Blooms or Peacock. So the 2 ladies that have won that, and I'm fairly certain you're both ladies, so I'm not going to get in trouble for saying that. Please tell me which is your first and second pick for those, and I'm sure between those 2 I'll be able to set you up. And yes, I am willing to part with my Ocean Surf. So yeah, but our first winner is post number 43, which was entry number 29, which is Renna I. And our second one was post 83, which is Jody Daya, and that was entry number 52. Then moving on to our other 2 pattern, well, they're going to be pattern prizes. So this will be Renna had donated a prize of a $10 or under pattern on Ravelry, and I'm going to go ahead and put the same in. So there are 1 pattern of your choice up to a $10 value, and the 2 winners for that is post number 69, which was Crafty Charlie, and now I can't remember what entry number that is, just a second guys, which was entry number 47. And then we have entry number 2, which I think was post number 8, which is Pinochka. Sorry, I can't do your your international names. And yeah, so that is our other winner. And I have tried to put your photos of your winning things up at the top and flash them so we get the right winners. And contact me on Ravelry, and I will let Renna know what pattern you want, and she can send it to you so that I know that you saw this. So yeah, let me know, guys. And yeah, like I said, message me over on Ravelry. If you for some reason can't get the message system to work over on Ravelry, you can email me at unseenstrands@gmail.com, but that is probably the least efficient way to get a hold of me. Now, the new year, New Ewe Cal, has just started. It started on January 6th. Technically, I consider it January 5th because if you haven't noticed, I like to put a lot of my Cal dates around birthdays, and January 5th is my sister's birthday, so that is when I like to do the season of giving date is to her birthday, since that's right before the Epiphany, and you know, seems like the end of the holiday season. And then I have ended it on Earth Day, which happens to be one of her sons or my nephew's birthday. So Ella, if you were wondering why I had such a weird date, that is why. It is my nephew's birthday, but I also thought Earth Day just seemed like a good day to, you know, kind of stop the adding to things and start, you know, maybe stashing down. So yeah, so we are running me and Ella of the No Catchy Name Crochet Talk are running the Year New Ewe Along, and Ella was so generous to hop in with me because I literally messaged her last minute asking her if she wanted to co-host again. Because, you know, I was watching all of these podcasters do their new alongs and things, and every single one I came on was stash down, use from stash, 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 use, stash. And I'm just like, you know, I don't need to be adding to my stash. I realize I have plenty. But at the same time, I realize that not everybody does, or I have a lot of things where I have, it's like my cooking. I have enough to, I don't have enough for certain things. I have like an ingredient and I need to go buy the rest of it. So that was kind of the idea here is I have a skein of yarn, but I need other things to go and finish that project that I am thinking of doing with that skein of yarn. And like I mentioned, my goal this year was that sweater out of my hand spun, and I needed to buy the fiber for that. So it was like, I don't have enough fiber in my, well, if I made some kind of crazy wackadoo crazy colored thing, I could do it out of stash, but just out of, you know, trying to do something that coordinated well together, I did not have enough to do it out of stash. So that was kind of where the New Year, New You, and of course we have spelled it with the EWE, like the sheep, because it's just fun that way. You know, we're in that world. You know, I think this is getting too barber pulley. Oh well. I'm about full on this bobbin. So the New Year, New You, the idea is that you will use new yarn. So it can either be yarn that you've purchased in the year 2019, or it can be yarn that you were given as a holiday gift during this last Christmas season, because, you know, I know some of you got yarn. Like I said, a lot of times I'll be given stuff and then I'll need to go and buy something to go with it. So I'll have parts of things that I'll have been gifted and still need to find something to help finish it, but to help get all that, you know, down and all that, you can use your gifted yarn that you just got, or, you know, that you've purchased in those end of year sales, because, you know, maybe you're like me and got those gift cards and started using them on those end of the year sales, and, you know, now they're coming in the mail and a lot of cows won't let you use them. Some will let you use stuff as long as it was purchased before 2019, but, you know, we'll just let you use it, you know. If it was a gift in December, or, you know, new in 2019. And different from Ella, I am also going to let you use newly published patterns. So my only restriction on that is I want it to be something that was published in 2019. We are running all the way through April, so there, I'm sure, will be plenty of new patterns for you to choose from between now and April. And, you know, the idea of that being, if you do have an extensive stash and still want to participate, you know, maybe you can find a pattern that was newly released and that, you know, is your favorite designer, and you want to get started, and you just happen to know where that yarn is sitting at your house, or maybe in the store. But you know where to find that yarn. So as long as it is a pattern that is published in 2019, I will also let you use that as a way to be a new year and new you. And anyways, guys, we're going to go ahead and wrap this up here. If you would like to find me on social media, I am bad at keeping up to things. But, you know, life with 4 boys and, you know, a handicap on top of it. I am Moe's Crochet, or Hooked on Moe's on most platforms, and that is Moe's Crochet, MoeScrochet, and Hooked on Moe's is HOOKEDONMOEZ. And if you would like to follow me, I hopefully will have all those linked down in the description box below. I've been getting bad at keeping up with those. Sorry guys, it's real life. And yeah, I think that'll do it for us. Sorry, I'm getting sidetracked by other thoughts, and they're not really important. So if you guys liked this episode, I'd appreciate it if you would hook the like button and subscribe. Talk to you later, guys.